Today is day 15 of Evidence of Cyber, and today's challenge is called Santa is looking for a sidekick. Input validation. Insufficient input validation is one of the biggest security concerns for web applications. The issue occurs when your user-provided input is inherently trusted by the application. Since users can also be controlled by an attacker, we can see how this inherent trust can lead to many problems. Several web application vulnerabilities, such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and unrestricted file upload, stem from the issue of insufficient user input validation. This task will focus on how insufficient input validation can lead to an unrestricted file upload vulnerability. So the learning objectives for this one are input validation of file upload functionality, unrestricted file upload vulnerabilities, phishing through file uploads, and how to properly secure file upload functionality. The ability to upload files to a server has become integral to how we interact with web applications. Just think of file uploads like a profile picture for a social media website, a report being uploaded to cloud storage, or saving a project on GitHub. The application for file upload features are limitless. Unfortunately, when poorly handled, file uploads can also open up severe vulnerabilities in the server. This can lead to anything from relatively minor nuisance problems all the way up to full remote code execution. An attacker manages to upload and execute a shell. With unrestricted upload access to a server and the ability to retrieve data at will, an attacker could deface or otherwise alter existing content, up to and including injecting malicious web pages, which lead to a further vulnerability such as cross-site scripting or cross-site request forgery. By uploading arbitrary files, an attacker could potentially use the server to host and or serve illegal content or to leak sensitive information. Realistically speaking, an attacker with the ability to upload a file of their choice to your server with no restrictions is very dangerous. So unrestricted file uploads usually have two main exploitation paths. If the attacker can retrieve the uploaded file, it could lead to the code execution if the attacker uploads a file such as a web shell, or if the file is viewed by a user, think of a CV application, then an attacker could embed malware in the uploaded file that would execute on the user's workstation once the file is viewed. There's been quite a lot of focus on remote code execution through web shells in previous rooms, so in this task we'll focus on the latter exploitation path. Santa is looking to hire new staff for a security team and has hired a freelance web developer to create a web application where potential candidates can upload their CVs. Elf McSkitty is aware that third-party risk can be serious and has tasked you, Exploit McRed, with testing this application before it goes live. Since the festivities are right around the corner, we will have to focus on the core feature of the website, namely the ability to upload a CV. Elf McSkitty has provided you with the latest version of the application, so start the machine attached to this task to load the website. So I'll do that now, so be right back. Okay, so we've now got both the challenge machine and the attack box open, and we can see that we can access the website on the machine, so let's continue. As we can see, the website allows us to upload our CVs to apply for a job in Santa's security team. Before we start the actual testing, let's first try to use the website as intended to get a better understanding of what is happening. Using your favorite word editor, create a simple new PDF and upload it to the application. Once uploaded, we can see the following message. So when you upload PDF properly, it gives you the message to say it's uploaded. Yep. So interesting. The message also tells us that there will be a human, or elf more specifically, interaction with the file. This calls for further investigation. Let's see what happens when you try to upload something other than PDF, like an executable. You can rename the file extension of your CV to exe. So it also accepts it when you upload a .exe. That seems to work. It seems like the freelance developer has attempted to implement some security to prevent naughty elves. However, not all controls are implemented. But can we actually do something with this that will be malicious? Why the fuss over the web root? So why should the developer take care to store the file outside of the web root? Web servers are fairly simple things. You request a resource and the web server then responds with a resource. The magic happens when a request resource has a specific file type. Since this is a .NET application, the following resource types should be considered special: ASP, ASPX, and CSHTML. When a resource is requested with one of these file types, the web server will first execute some instructions found in these pages before sending the compiled response back to the user. Here's an example of an ASPX instruction that would be executed by the server. So you got form with an ID of form1, method post, runout, encode type, multi-pipe form data, and action upload.aspx. This tells the server that the HTML element first requires some formatting before being added to the HTML. In the response, as can be seen by the runout server directive. Yep, right here, runout server. If we could upload any file that we wanted, we could upload one of these special types of pages like an ASPX web shell. If this file was stored in the web root, we could request a file from the server, forcing the server to execute the code within our file before sending the response. It would be possible to get remote code execution on the web server. However, as the file is stored outside of the web root, we cannot make a request that would retrieve our uploaded file for execution. However, this protection is not sufficient for two main reasons. Other vulnerabilities, such as local file inclusion, may exist that allows us to force the web server itself to recover the file that has been stored outside the web root. If the web server recovers the file, the code within the file will again be executed, allowing remote code execution. While we cannot perhaps get remote code execution using this vulnerability, we know with certainty that actual users would interact with the files that we upload. Rather than targeting the web server directly, we could target the users that would interact with these files. If we were to upload a file that had malware embedded, it would execute when the user interacted with the file, still allowing us to breach Santa's perimeter. Shell from Santa. Let's try to take one of Santa's elves that would be reviewing the uploaded CVs. In most cases, we would have to be quite creative with the malware that we upload, especially since this is for an application to a security role. This will require us to make a CV with a malicious macro embedded. However, since we are on the Santa's red team, and this is a security assessment, we only need to show proof of concept. Let's use Metasploit to generate a malicious CV. So we can grab this, we can copy it, then we can send it to machine like this. So with that, we can then open up a terminal up here, and then we can paste that into here and run that. Oh, my bad, we were meant to change the listening port here. So let's bring back this command, and we'll change listening port. Let's change it to 5000. Okay, that didn't work as well. Alright, we also need to do the our IP address. So we can get that back up, and we will change TUN0 to 10.10.99.43, which we can see is included in the device name. So now let's run this and see if it works. Okay, there we go. It's now saved the file as cv username.exe, and we can see it's in the current directory we're in. Okay, so what's next? You can then also use the following to create the associated listener in the MSF console. Okay, so we'll grab this and we'll paste it in. Well, first we need to put it into the clipboard here. Now we can paste it in. And we will also need to change the L host and L port here. So with that created, we can then run it. Okay, so we are now currently listening on port 5000 of our device. Once we have our CV, we can upload the file again. Once uploaded, give it a few minutes, and one of the elves should be reviewing the CV. So on the website, we'll go browse, and it was in home CV username.exe. Open that and upload, and in a few minutes that console we had open should get a response. Okay, so just got a response, and we now have a shell open to the web server. So let's see what we need to do next. To adequately secure the file upload feature, we'll need to implement layers of defense. In this task, we will use a C# file uploaded as the case study. C# is a popular language used to create both Windows applications and web applications at large organizations. Let's look at our base file upload function first. So when the post request is made, it receives a file that's uploaded. It then uploads the file to dcvuploads, then grabs the name of the file that's uploaded, and then creates a path dcvuploads / the file that we uploaded. And then with the file that's uploaded, it then reads the contents of the file, and then it copies the file to that location. So as we can see, the developer made sure to store the CV outside of the web root by setting the full path to a different drive. However, this is not sufficient. Let's take a look at what additional controls can be implemented. So file content validation. We can validate the content of the file by reviewing the content type header that's sent by the browser when the file is uploaded. So when you upload the file through the web browser, it will say that the file is of type PDF. So if it's not of type, then it will prevent any further action. If the file content type is not PDF, we will reject the file. While this is a good control, it should be noted that since the browser sets this header, an attacker could bypass this control by intercepting the request and changing the header. So file extension validation, because we could also try to verify the file extension. This will allow us to limit the type of files that can be uploaded. We can therefore add the following line to our code. So this will limit the file types to only PDFs. If a user CV is in a different format, they will have to convert the CV first. This control should ideally be implemented within an allow list, as shown above, since a block list can still be bypassed in certain cases. File size validation. Attackers can also try to upload files that are so large they consume so much disk space that other potential candidates are not able to upload the CVs. To prevent this, we can also implement file size validation controls. So you set the max file size to 10 megabytes, and if the content size is greater than that, then don't allow it. File renaming. As mentioned before, even though our uploads are stored outside the web root, an attacker could leverage an additional vulnerability such as file inclusion to execute the file to counter these attempts. We can look to rename uploaded files to random names, making it almost impossible for an attacker to recover their file by name. So it creates a new GUID and changes the name of the file to the id.pdf. Malware scanning. Even with all the above controls implemented, there is still the risk of an attacker uploading a malicious file that targets elves that will review the CVs. Since Santa is a high-value individual, some nation-states might even use specialized exploits found in PDF readers to upload a malicious PDF in the hopes of getting access to remove themselves from Santa's naughty list. In order to combat these types of malicious files, we can scan uploaded files for malware. We can install a package such as ClamAV and use it to scan the contents of each uploaded file. So, creating a new instance of Clam client with their configurations, then sending the file to scan it, and you'll get the results. So if the scanned results is virus detected, it will then prevent it. So you have the variable allowed equals true, you've specifying where you want to save the files, you're modifying the name of the file so it's nondescript, you verify that the content type is PDF, you then verify that the content extension is PDF. You make sure that the size of the file is less than 10 megabytes. You do a virus scan, and if all those passes checked, allowed should still equal true, and then you save the file. So all of these controls are required for the simple reason that we cannot inherently trust user input. As such, user input must be validated and controlled. Sending this feedback to the freelance developer will allow them to secure the file upload feature. Okay, so what is the name given to file uploads that allow threat actors to upload any files that they want? That was unrestricted uploads. Okay, cool. What is the title of the web developer by Santa's freelancer? So if we go to here, Santa Sidekick 2. So Santa Sidekick 2. So what is the value of the flag stored in the HR elves document history? So I assume that will be back here. As you can see, there's a whole heap of files that are in this location. Let's first figure out whereabouts we are. So pwd. Okay, we're in system 32. Okay, so where is it that we're wanting to go? In the HR elves document directory. So we can go cd c users. Okay, well apparently can't find the file supported. So let's try cd backpack. cd dot dot. Okay, now cd users. ls. Okay, there's HR elf there, so we'll do cd HR elf. Then it's in the documents, cd documents ls, and then there's a flag there, so cat flag.txt, and we've got flag here. Naughty file uploads can get you remote code execution. So we'll copy that and paste it in here. So what defense technique can be implemented to ensure that specific file types can be uploaded? I think that's file extension validation. Yep. What defense technique can be used to make sure that threat actors cannot recover their file again by simply using the file name? So enter file renaming. Yep. And what defense technique can be used to make sure malicious files that can hurt elves are not uploaded? So malware scanning. And that is day 15 of Advent of Cyber completed. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe.